This is the second to last interview we're doing. We have a short talk with Gino Morelli planned in a minute, but an old friend, Dan Tucker. How you doing, brother?
Very good, Alan.
Dan, I know you gave me a call a couple months ago to tell me about your new job.
Yes.
And you moved to a Danish manufacturer of really cool props, and we've had a little look at them. But tell us about the company.
Flexofold has been around about 10 years. Leading manufacturer of low drag propellers in the world. We are standard and or optional equipment on pretty much any boat you can think of, from Swan to Beneteau to Juno to Gunboat to Lagoon to you name it. We probably put a prop on the boat at the factory nowadays. But the biggest market for us really is the sailboat. The sailor who's out there who may still be dragging around, God forbid, a fixed prop behind their boat.
Right.
Because if you look at something like this, you look at it and go, well, would you rather drag a bucket or a teacup behind your boat while you're sailing?
Sure. And Dan, you know, I mean, it's a rare sailor, even sort of the most, you know, clueless cruiser who doesn't know that sailing around with a full prop is silly. I'd be surprised. Okay, all right, fair enough. Here's my question though. There are a lot of these on the market. There's Gory, there's Martech, there's Max Prop, there's a bunch. And it's a fairly competitive little segment. I guess it's a high margin. I don't know. They're fairly expensive for a single piece of metal, or you know what I mean?
Piece of metal. So a two-blade prop like this is about $1,000.
Okay. Oh, so that's less than I thought.
It's about one boat unit for most boats in the size range we're talking about.
And how do Flexofolds for the same size compared to the pricing of some of the other manufacturers?
Most of the folders were about the same, probably a little bit cheaper. The feathering props, which are more complex, tend to be a bit more expensive.
Now, why would people choose a folding prop over a feathering prop?
Number one, it's lower drag under sail. Number two, things like crab pots, lobster pots, seaweed, it's going to pass right off a shape like this, rather than getting caught. And this guy standing here is nodding his head yes, because he's probably had that experience.
No,
and we didn't set this up.
I got one of these now.
And how do you like it?
I love it.
Why?
I love it because it doesn't snag, it's got no drag, I don't have to mess with it. And then the good part is, even when critters start growing in there, when you go
like
on the sail, they're gone.
Absolutely.
Huh. Okay, and that's interesting because I've cleaned feathers underwater in my other job, diving boats, and it's a pain in the ass. You're down there with a little wire brush, and you know.
All you have to do is work the blades a couple of times,
and it kills all the
anything that's in there is gone.
It's crushed. It's like flushed out of there.
Absolutely. And what kind of boat did you put your
Naiad? It's a 32
on a Naiad,
10 meter boat.
All right. So there's a really nice testimonial there from our friend here.
Totally unplanned, but I've been collecting things like that all weekend.
Sure, it was unplanned.
I don't know, German's designing or something.
Danish.
Danish, even better. Okay,
yes.
Number one in technology these days.
Yes.
In the world, people don't believe it, but it's true. It's probably because of
no, nobody engineers like the Scandinavians. I'll tell you that much.
True.
Somebody did some good thought when these gears.
Jack Strudskrupp.
Yeah. Okay.
You even have the accent.
The shape. See the teeth? You see this little opening there? It self cleans or something. It doesn't screw up.
No.
So lower drag.
Lower drag.
And how are your props compared? Let's say so that now there are other folders out there.
Yep.
What does Flexofold do that the others don't?
We have the most efficient shaped blades of any of the competitors.
And this is what the testing is showing.
This is what the independent testing
no,
is
this is independent testing.
We're too cheap to pay for that kind of stuff. We'd rather offer you the prop at a better value.
Reversible. Reversing. It's as strong in reverse as it is forward.
You haven't had any problem with reversing the boat with your Flexofold? And you have a 2-blade or a 3-blade?
2-blade.
And it goes in reverse just fine.
No problem. Once it's open, it's centrifugal force. Once it's open, it's open.
Now, Dan, explain something to me. You were saying that there's less prop walk in reverse with this.
There is for a couple of reasons. Number one, because compared to a fixed blade, on a fixed blade, your blades would be about here.
Right.
Our blades are a little bit further back because we need the mechanism for the folding stuff.
Right.
That gets the blades typically on a downshaft. On a shaft drive, you've got a downshaft angle. Gets the blades a little bit further away from the hull. The same thing in reverse. They don't actually open 100%. They open about 85 or 90%, which is reducing the effective diameter of the prop. So you need to spin it a little bit faster to compensate for that, but that it changes the pitch a little bit also. So you're getting more, at a little bit higher RPM, you're getting as good or better reverse thrust.
That's pretty clever.
So the key thing is you just need to use a little bit more revs to get the same reverse thrust. But
that's pretty clever.
Even with a 2-blade or a 3-blade, in an emergency stop situation, you jam that throttle all the way to full reverse, and you'll stop in a boat lane.
So, simpler than a featherer, more efficient than other folders.
No maintenance, just keep it clean. And it's easy to do.
I love it. What about, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna, earlier we did an interview with the new electric motor that's coming out for boats. What do you think about that, being compatible with this? How do you see that going?
That's an interesting concept, and we've talked to some folks about that. Are they doing regeneration from the prop shaft? Yeah. Can still be done. Not as effectively. You probably want a fixed blade prop for that because you need to be spinning the shaft. But I know we talked to Nigel Calder about that yesterday from Sail, who's doing a bunch of testing on that sort of stuff. And you could talk to Jack, our
Nigel's got an all electric drive in one of his boats.
He's got some crazy stuff going on, which is really cool. We'll see what comes of it. If anybody figures it out, it's going to be a cool thing.
All right. What percentage of your sales are racing and what percentage are cruising?
Probably more. Most people use their boats in a mixed way. There are, the majority of the market out there, if you look around your anchorages, people are using their boats both ways. So, this prop, our racing prop is standard equipment on a 440 on the sail dry pump. So, that is the uber low drag version.
This is pretty
under
cool.
sail.
It fits together almost perfectly.
Not quite as efficient under power because it's really optimized for low drag.
And this one is the
this is the 2-blade, more efficient under power. But this 2-blade is about 4 pounds of drag according to the tests, and this one's about 23% less drag. So that's a pound less drag compared to 100 to 150 pounds of dragging a fixed 3-blade prop.
Sure.
So,
got it.
Bigger boats typically use a 3-blade up to the kind of mid-30 range, mid to upper 30-foot range. You might be better off with a 2-blade.
And it's, what is it, Flexofold.com? Okay.
Flexofold.com.
So, check out Flexofold.com. Dan Tucker, a good friend, our buddy in the Viper fleet.
On this part. This is cool.
Oh, okay.
I can't do it.
Sure you can.
Oh. That's
just how easy it is to open up.
That's fighting gravity. A half a turn at low speed opens the prop.
Even little Katie can do it.
There's not much I can do, so.
There you go.
Dan, doing any Viper sailing this winter?
Hope to, yeah. I'm hoping to get to Lake Norman next month, although I might be going to Metz instead.
I might too.
I am going to Metz. I don't think I'm going to make Lake Norman. I need to check the dates. But Miami Race Week in February or March.
Miami Race Week? You mean the Premier Racing one?
No. You haven't heard about that yet, have you?
Oh, you mean the Bacardi Cup stuff?
Yeah, the Bacardi Cup stuff is
so
opened up.
Don't use the word. Don't use Miami Race Week. It has bad connotations.
No, the Bacardi Cup is opening up.
He kicked out the little boats, remember?
Vipers, Lightnings.
I did hear about this. The Bacardi Cup is going to become something really special, and the Vipers are a big part of that.
That is going to be our North Americans for 2010. We should have it's going to be a kick-ass regatta in so many ways.
And you're going to round it out with what?
Over 40 boats. Oh, Charleston Race Week after that. Yeah, just a week or two later. A month later. Yeah, that's part of our circuit.
And there were 34 last year at Charleston, I think?
34 at Charleston last year. We had 39 at Renee's in Stamford a couple of weeks ago.
So it's going strong, isn't it?
We're still growing. Typically, every regatta is bigger. So come sail a Viper.
Think we'll see 50 at Charleston? Or is that a little too ambitious?
That's a bit ambitious, but we'll see. We'll see in the 40s at both those regattas, I expect.
Great. All right, buddy. Well, thank you so much. Good to see you.
Appreciate it.
All right. Dan Tucker, Flexofold.